Good morning, lovelies. ZoëTwoDots here with some more Pokemon Go goodness for you, and today we are discussing which Pokemon are the best ones to focus on for the upcoming community weekend for December. So a lot of you guys have been asking for this one. Just a quick note as well, FLW videos did a fairly similar video on this, but more kind of, I suppose, stats focused and move focused. So if you guys want a bit more of a stats breakdown on all of the Com Day Pokemon, check out his video as well on this one. But I'm going to be kind of covering a variety of angles for this, so moves and stats, usability in transferring Pokemon to Let's Go, future-proofing, things like that, and Mega Evolution. So a few different options to look at for what you should be focusing on for Community Day. So first things first, we can jump into the Pokemon with the best move sets. So of all of the Community Day Pokemons, the things that you want to focus on for movesets and things that are currently meta relevant and viable are going to be the Larvitars for Tyranitar, the Bulbasaurs for Venusaur, and then also the Beldoms for Metagross. So Tyranitar evolved during the event window. We'll have Smackdown, and you're going to want to TM or hopefully get lucky and get Stone Edge as the move, like already on your Tyranitar. Essentially, Smackdown Stone Edge is one of the better movesets for Tyranitar, and it's still one of the best rock type movesets. So very fast attacking, very fast charge move, and all around, realistically, it's very, very usable at the moment. For a lot of different raid bosses that we've been having come through, teams of Tyranitars with either Bite Crunch or Smackdown Stone Edge have been used constantly, which is why I have almost 2 full teams, one with Bite Crunch, almost 6 stack of Tyranitar's, and then a full 6 stack of Smackdown Stone Edge Tyranitar's. So for me personally, I would love to also maybe hatch a couple more decent Larvitars or trade to re-roll for some decent Larvitars just to evolve those during the Com Day window. It doesn't necessarily have to be a shiny, but to evolve any decent ones that you have got to have the Smackdown and Stone Edge moveset, just because it is still very usable, still very current, and it hasn't really been... It's a Pokemon that we can access reasonably easily, and if it's spawning in abundance, we're going to be seeing it a lot more during this weekend. So that's one to focus on for moves. Second up, Venusaur. If you haven't got a decent grass type attacker, Venusaur with Frenzy Plant and Vine Whip or Vine Whip Frenzy Plant is the best grass type attacker. It's number 1 essentially. So if you haven't got a couple of those, stack up on them now. We haven't really needed them really so much yet. I can't really recall a raid boss recently that's needed a grass type attacker, but it's still relevant. It's still the best one. It's better to have them and not need them for the next little while than to not have them at all. Something to consider as well is moving into next year, and hopefully we'll be seeing PvP. I doubt we're going to see it at the end of this year. I think it's way too close to the end of the year to roll out a PvP marketing campaign. Probably will be the first major release for next year. I'm speculating essentially, but Pokemon that you'll be storing up for PvP. If you've never played the main series games, it is going to be a massive shake-up to what Pokemon you actually use day to day. So if you're battling your friends, you don't have to use, the meta-relevant Pokemon. Your friend could have a team of a whole bunch of wild different things that are powered up and super strong in their own right, in their own moves, and you'll need to have Pokemon to counter that. So having decent Frenzy Plant, Vine Whip, Venusaur is going to be a good one to hang on to. Again, if you've got some decent ones already in your storage, that weekend will be a good time to evolve them to get that special moveset. And finally, for moveset as well is going to be Metagross. So focusing on Beldoms for Metagross with Bullet Punch and Meteor Mash. Meteor Mash being the special move for the weekend. It is the number 1 steel type move, and I don't believe it's going to be outclassed for a hot minute for the next couple of generations rolling out with steel type moves. Again, we haven't needed really heavily steel type moves in the game, but PvP hopefully coming not too far away. Who knows what else we're going to see in terms of raid bosses and things like that roll out. So again, covering your bases and having a little bit of everything to focus on. Keep in mind, using TMs during the event weekend will not work in terms of getting the special move. So if you want Meteor Mash on your Metagross, you need to evolve a Beldum all the way up, or you can evolve your Metang up, 1 step, but you cannot TM a currently held Metagross. It will not work. You have to evolve during the event window to get that special move. So don't waste any of your TMs. Don't think, oh, I'll just change the moves on my existing ones. It's not going to work. The next thing to consider is going to be Mega Evolutions. So Mega Evolutions aren't out in Pokemon Go just yet, but essentially they probably will be at some point in time. hopefully, especially once PvP runs out. It's going to be a bit more relevant, potentially. So Com Day Pokemon that will get a Mega Evolution in the future are Blastoise, Charizard, and Venusaur. Also seeing mega evolutions in the future will be Tyranitar, Metagross, and also Ampharos. So Ampharos, kind of specifically calling it out here, its special move for Comday is a dragon type move. As you guys might know, Ampharos is an electric type Pokemon, but when it gets its Mega Stone and Mega Evolves, it goes half electric, half dragon. So this might be when that move becomes a bit more relevant. It probably might still be outclassed by dragon types like Rayquaza, but who knows? I mean, either way, it's gonna look pretty cool. Like shiny Mega Ampharos is gonna look slick. So certainly another thing to keep your eye out for. These potential Pokemon, even though maybe, you know, Charizard and Blastoise outclassed by other fire and water type attackers, we don't really know exactly how they're gonna be affected once we have Mega Stones in the game, if we get them in the game. So these could become more relevant, or, you know, kind of sneak up the tiers a little bit more once they have that Mega Evolution. So it's probably better to, again, to have a couple of good ones, maybe just one or two, just to have them there in case they do become more important or more relevant once we get Mega Stones. Thirdly, another thing to consider is transferring to Pokemon Let's Go. So if you've been shiny hunting in Pokemon Let's Go and you've gotten super lucky and gotten some really early, I hate saying lucky because luck is just like a human construct. Maybe the dice just happen to roll in your favor for how probability, you know, how the dice lands essentially. Every single time you see a Pokemon, a little dice rolls inside the game and maybe it'll be normal, maybe it'll be shiny. You know, that's how probability works. You might encounter 5 Psyduck and find a shiny, or you might encounter 5,000 Psyduck until you find your shiny. It's just that little dice landing in the, you know, in the position that favors you or doesn't favor you. So in Pokemon Let's Go, you can transfer from Pokemon Go to Let's Go. And if you want to save yourself a heck of a lot of time shiny hunting for certain things, there is a whole bunch of stuff that you can transfer from Go to Let's Go in terms of shiny Gen 1 Pokemon. So literally anything that is a Comday shiny, that is Gen 1, so things like your Pikachus, Raichus when you evolve them, Charmander, Bulbasaur, Squirtle, all those guys, excluding Sunglasses Squirtle, can be transferred from Go to Let's Go. That's gonna save you hours and hours and hours of shiny hunting specifically for Charmander, Charmeleon, and then Charizard if you want one of everything. Shiny hunting for Squirtle and Wartortle and Blastoise. If you want one of everything, you can transfer these from Go into Let's Go and save yourself a hell of a lot of time if you're working towards a shiny dex or anything like that. For me personally, I'll be trying to catch extras of everything that are Gen 1 so that I can transfer them into Let's Go and actually trade them away to you guys. Give you guys like a bit of a shiny giveaway in Let's Go. I think that'd be a bit of a fun little video to do with you guys, and so you guys can get shinies from me. To trade currently in Pokemon Go, it's very expensive to trade shinies. It's a massive Stardust investment if you're not ultra friends or best friends. And it's still gonna be a gorgeous and usable Pokemon in Pokemon Let's Go. So I think that's gonna be a fun way to like kind of share the shiny love. It's gonna be physically impossible for me to trade all you guys, especially international shinies, but in Pokemon Let's Go, you can do it online. You can trade online in Pokemon Let's Go. I can just jump on a live stream and trade away to you guys all around the world. So there is that as well. Speaking of glasses, Squirtle, like Squirtle, I have no idea. Like, unless Niantic says it's coming back, I have no idea if it's coming back, but I personally wouldn't really like hold our breath for it. I don't know, it just seemed like there was this weird reaction after it was out, like it wasn't the right glasses, like it wasn't the pointy Squirtle Squad glasses. It was, I don't know, it was like kind of like, here it is, now it's gone. And nothing's been said about it again. So maybe we'll see it come back in quests, maybe we won't, but I'm personally not getting my hopes up too high. I've personally held onto all of my Squirtle Squad shinies and standard Squirtle Squad Pokemon. I've traded a couple away for fun to friends and things like that. But if you've currently got some of the Squirtle Squad Squirtles, hang on to them because we really don't know if they're gonna come back or not. We'll have to wait and see, essentially, so yeah. And lastly, something to focus on is your own personal inventory. Take stock of what you've already got in terms of shinies before we hit the weekend. So for me, I've already transferred, like, yes, transferred, like trashed, shiny Bulbasaurs. I had way too many of them, and this was before Let's Go came out. So you can clearly see some of those there labeled for trade. The one's called ZoëTwoDots for trade. There's one there labeled Let's to transfer to Let's Go. I'm probably gonna transfer most of these to Let's Go, to be honest. I don't need this many in my storage in Pokemon Go. They're just taking up space. They might as well go to a happy home in Let's Go. I wouldn't mind a couple of extra shiny Charizards, especially to have one in Let's Go. That would be awesome. So I'm gonna be trying to like focus a little bit maybe on a couple of Charmanders. That would be sweet. because I didn't get super lucky on the actual com day. Quick note there as well, the hatted Pikachus cannot be moved into Pokemon Let's Go, just as a FYI. The Eevees. So for the Eevees, you can see I have got an absolute ton of these guys. I would like to move quite a few over into Let's Go as well. I think they're a fun one to trade away. But I also want to have a couple of decent ones, maybe. I know that IVs are always, you know, you're at the whim of the Pokegods for that one. But if you want to have one of every shiny evolution, including Eevee itself, you'll need 10 shiny Eevee. So if you did not manage to get that many on the original double com day, focus on some Eevees now as well, because if you want one of everyone, 10 shinies is what you're going to need. Plus then if you're moving stuff into the other game as well, you're going to want to cover all your bases. So for me, Eevees, even though I have got quite a lot of them, I probably am going to try and get a few more, just so I can have a few like maybe better IV ones. I've got that crazy lucky one there with the 98% IVs. This one's going to be saved for Sylveon in a later generation, so that one's going to take a while till I can evolve that. But yeah, that is another option there for Eevees. Again, as well, with the Eevees, because you're at the whim of evolving at random, essentially, you might want to have a couple extras in case you evolve like 3 Flareon in a row or something, or like I did and got like 3 Vaporeon, so I've transferred a couple of those to Let's Go too. After that, I've got my Dratinis. I'm kind of sitting fine for those. Again, it's a fun one to trade with people, so I'm going to aim for some, put them into Let's Go, give them to you guys. But I'm pretty fine on that front. I don't find Shiny Dragonite particularly nice to look at. I mean, it is a perfectly functional Pokemon, but in terms of the special move that Dragonite gets on Com Day with Draco Meteor, you're actually better off having Outrage anyway. So it's like, you know, if you want to have the move to have it, evolve it during the Com Day weekend, but you're better off having Dragon Tail and Outrage than Draco Meteor. So, you know, is what it is. You're kind of splitting hairs, but you know. Mareep as well, I would like to focus and get a couple more of those. Again, just because it was such a struggle to actually get those 3. For the Tyranitar's there, I'm more likely to get, I'd more rather get Tyranitar's with the Smackdown Stone Edge moveset than specifically to get shiny ones. So I'm fine either way for that, but I would certainly love to get the moveset on those ones. And lastly, with Metagross, I really do not need any more shiny Metagross. I probably will try to get like a Beldum and a Mentang because I evolved all of mine. Considering Beldum is coming back for this December Community Day, I probably didn't need to keep and evolve all of these Metagrosses to trade to people, because more than likely, I mean, realistically, everyone's going to kind of probably get one over 3 days. So, I mean, I'm just going to save these up to reroll IVs with friends. It is what it is. It'll be an expensive reroll, but I did save these up to trade with people, but it's probably irrelevant now that it's coming back. So it is what it is. And don't forget, guys, the #1 reason to focus on a Com Day Pokemon, if you just freaking love that Pokemon, focus on that. Don't feel the pressure or the need to go and grind for Larvitars because it has Smackdown Stone Edge. If you don't do raids, if that's not something that you even care about, but you know, Pikachu or Mareep is just your favorite little buddy, focus on Pikachu and Mareep. There is no pressure to focus on something else just because it's meta relevant and it's got the best moveset or it's got the coolest shiny or it's the rarest. It doesn't matter. If you've got a favorite and it's going to be out on this 3-day weekend, go for your favorite. Like for me personally, if you know, shiny Togepi was spawning all over the place and if it wasn't meta relevant and it didn't have a good moveset, I don't care. I'm gonna be focusing on that little baby if that was a thing. Like, that's my favorite. If you got a favorite, go for gold. I hope this video has been informative for you. Please leave a like if it was at least somewhat helpful. And let me know in the comments down below, what Pokemon would you like to see next year for community days? Realistically, if we're following the method, January is probably going to be Totodile. But what shinies do you want to see for community days in 2019? What gets you hyped? And don't just drop in there, you know, Ralts and Bagon. Everyone's been asking for Ralts and Bagon. What else? What other amazing Pokemon do you think deserve a feature? A month, like, you know, the end of the month feature in Pokemon Go. So let me know in the comments down below, guys. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful morning, noon, night, whatever time it is for you. Catch you guys in the next one. Bye.